Now at 5, the Labor Day weekend is upon us and thousands of vehicles will be on the road. See what AAA says about staying safe on the roadways. Plus, see how a local nonprofit organization matches exchange students with host families. And
Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook heads to court to try and block the president from firing her. I'm Natalie Brand with the latest on her case and the fallout from this week's shakeup at the CDC.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thousands of people will be traveling over the Labor Day weekend to various destinations, and AAA tells us how to stay safe on the roads. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Anthony Saviello. Labor Day is right around the corner, and that means more cars, more road trips, and more traffic on the highways. AAA says that while gas prices are taking a dip, it warns that the number of crashes could increase. We spoke with AAA officials and local drivers to find out what you need to know to stay safe on the road this holiday weekend.
Get the car packed up the night before, get everything ready, head out first thing in the morning. That's going to help you avoid some of the major headaches and congestion out on the roads.
Find some travel games, just keep it old school.
Just do the speed limit.
There were 233 crashes and 108 DWIs during Labor Day last year in the Show Me State. This is according to Missouri State Highway Patrol. The STS Foundation is a nonprofit that matches host families with exchange students since the nonprofit started in 1986. Over 1,500 students have been matched in Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Missouri. Officials from the foundation say a loving host family can impact a foreign high school student's life forever.
Seeing it go from, okay, I have this student in my home and, I don't know this person, they don't know me, and I'm adapting as much as they're adapting to my environment to, okay, now we're comfortable with each other, and by the end of it, you don't want them to go home. And it's the hardest part.
You can find out more about becoming a host family for a semester or full school year by visiting our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. As the Joplin Route 66 Balloon and Kite Festival gets underway, food vendors are setting up shop to welcome visitors. From sweet treats to savory favorites, dozens of local and regional vendors are preparing to serve crowds throughout the weekend. The vendors say they're looking forward to the warm but not overly hot temperatures expected, which should make for steady business.
At least it ain't 100 degrees. So yeah, I hope it draws people out. It may hurt the shaved ice business, but the kettle corn, pork rinds, and things like that ought to be good. The work is in the prep, and this is the fun part, getting to set up and sell. Get to mingle with the people.
While opening day started slow, they expect traffic to pick up once the balloons take to the sky and more visitors arrive. The festival continues through Sunday. Joplin High School's science research program is getting a big boost thanks to Missouri American Water. Today, the company presented a $10,000 STEM education grant from the American Water Charitable Foundation. The money will be used to buy equipment for students working on projects. The donation recognizes the impact of Joplin High School's science research program in helping students pursue science at a higher level and showing them they belong in the lab.
I think that this grant, in the amount of $10,000, first of all, it brings awareness to the high school and this program, which is amazing, a science research program that is unique to our community. As far as what I hope to see it continue, and certainly grants such as this allow the class to purchase equipment for students.
The funding will help fill a constant need for equipment, allowing students to take on advanced projects while keeping the unique program thriving. Oh, it's been a little wet outside. Meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney joins us for a first look at weather.
Well, we have had a rainy couple of days. Now today, mostly just cloudy for the rest of the afternoon. So it says we're holding on to decent weather. Temperatures in the mid-60s. We're going to be getting down to the low 70s, mid-70s to the low 70s by this afternoon and evening. But those clouds really aren't going away anytime soon. We're going to have a cloudy weekend and even more rain chances to come. Now, mostly isolated chances for showers on Saturday, but you can see Sunday midday we're going to have a spike there in our rain chances once we get to the midday to early afternoon. Temperatures stay mild all weekend long, but we are going to be dodging storms for most of Labor Day weekend, but I'm going to have all those details coming up.
Lindsay, thanks. Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook is fighting in court today to keep her job as her legal battle against President Trump's unprecedented move to terminate her officially begins. The latest legal battle comes as the Trump administration also shakes up leadership at the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. Natalie Brand has the latest from the White House.
Attorneys for Fed Governor Lisa Cook left a federal courthouse in Washington, D.C. with no decision made by the judge today on their request to block President Trump from removing her from her post. Cook's attorneys argue the administration violated her due process rights for trying to terminate her based on an unsubstantiated allegation of mortgage fraud. The White House defending the move says the president determined there was cause to remove a governor who was credibly accused of lying in financial documents.
He has the cause that he needs to fire this individual, so we'll continue to fight this battle.
President Trump is also facing increasing pushback after firing CDC Director Susan Monteras, which triggered several other top officials at the agency to resign.
Dozens rallied around them outside the CDC headquarters Thursday as they left the building. CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder sat down with two of the officials, including Dr. Dimitri Daskalauskas, who stepped down from his role as director for immunization and respiratory diseases.
The vaccine science and other science that CDC provides has been able to stay free of ideology. But with the changes that are happening at CDC, I don't think that that's going to be true for much longer.
Jim O'Neill, a top aide to Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and former biotech investor, has been tapped to serve as acting director. In a letter to CDC staffers, Secretary Kennedy said he's committed to working with the agency to restore trust in public health, saying in part, the mission remains strong and so does my full confidence in you. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
In the aftermath of the devastating school shooting in Minneapolis, there's been a lot of time spent reflecting and focusing on what can be done to prevent similar attacks in the future. First Lady Melania Trump posted online calling for, quote, preemptive intervention to identify potential shooters. The city's mayor is among those calling for stricter gun laws. Others are reigniting discussions of boosting security presence at schools and houses of worship, a method also referred to as hardening.
Hardening is intended to deter bad actors from trying to engage in violence in the first place by sending a message that this site is so secure, you're not going to succeed even if you try to inflict damage. The second goal is to mitigate the impacts of violence if it does erupt.
Hardening can mean putting up more walls, installing video cameras, and posting armed officers. Still ahead, a special program is teaching valuable skills to elderly people with visual impairments. And
these knitters, many of whom are blind or visually impaired, aren't just enjoying a craft. I'm Michael George with the volunteers making blankets, hats, and scarves for people in need.
And next in Health Watch, people who get the shingles vaccine have a lower risk of heart attacks and strokes. Topping today's Health Watch, a special program is teaching valuable skills to elderly people with visual impairments and giving them a chance to pay it forward. Michael George introduces us to a group of people defying expectations and proving they can do anything.
83-year-old Rosalie LaRosa has a talent for knitting.
I knit a lot of toys, like they're on that table. I knit blankets. I like to do baby things rather than grown-up things.
But what makes her skill even more impressive, she and nearly everyone knitting in this room is either blind or visually impaired.
A lot of blind people knit and a lot of blind people crochet.
So is it more in the hands than in the eyes?
It's more in the hands. Knitting, I think, is more in the hands.
Once a week, volunteers teach knitting and crocheting to elderly people with visual impairments. But it's far more than just learning a skill. It's also a chance for human connection.
It gives people the chance to get out of the house, and you come and it's a good place for socializing, and you can make a lot of friends here.
Saprit Saluja is executive director of volunteer organization New York Cares, which created the program in partnership with Vision Services for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
What we hear over and over again is they feel connected, get to know one another over time, and build relationships that are really meaningful.
And the icing on the cake? Many of the blankets, scarves, and toys made here are donated to people in need.
Hi, everybody.
Rosalie has been coming here for over a decade, and she has some advice for anyone afraid to try something new.
Rosalie, you think I could learn to knit?
Yes. If you don't do it, you'll never know. I think you should try it, And I think it takes a little patience, it does take a little practice, but if you practice, anybody can do it.
It's given her a chance to help others and meet people cut from the same cloth. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
New York Cares runs programs involving more than 60,000 volunteers. They say the knitting program is one of their most popular. Well, people who get the shingles vaccine have a lower risk of heart attack and stroke. A study in Europe found adults 50 and older who received the vaccine for shingles, also known as herpes zoster, had a 16% lower chance of having a major cardiovascular event. The CDC recommends 2 doses of the shingles vaccine for adults age 40 and over to prevent shingles and other related complications. And 80% of Americans have no idea that a person could have early-stage prostate cancer with no symptoms. The findings of an Ohio State University survey underscore why regular screening is important. Prostate cancer is one of the most common cancers among men and affects 300,000 Americans every year, but if caught early, it's highly treatable. A new study finds that college alcohol abuse can cause harm even to students who don't drink. An alcohol research group survey found 15% of students said they'd been harassed by someone under the influence of alcohol, and 5% had been physically assaulted or experienced unwanted sexual contact. 3% reported others' alcohol abuse hurt them academically, including having to drop a class or take an extra work. That's a look at today's health news. A little later, the day after President Trump's executive order takes effect, see how small shipments will be subject to country-specific tariffs.
And I'll have a look at your Labor Day weekend forecast coming up right after this. We had another mild day today with temperatures sticking around in the 70s. We're about 77 degrees. We can go ahead and take a look at our almanac for today. Didn't get any rain, but we had overcast skies, which kept us a few degrees cooler than where we should be this time of year. Now, as we're continuing into the rest of the evening, those clouds aren't going away anytime soon. You can see just mostly overcast skies for the evening. Taking a look at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. A lot of lower level clouds and upper level clouds. Sticks around for the evening. Now temperatures are going to drop down through the 70s. Once we head into the overnight hours, last night we got down to upper 50s. The reason we're going to stay in the 60s is because of those clouds. Those overcast clouds actually keep us a bit warmer at nighttime. Now our next rain chance or rain event that we could see starting potentially on Saturday, we could see some isolated shower chances there in the afternoon. Very low chance, less than 10%. But then we head into Sunday by mid-morning to early afternoon. We have these isolated to scattered shower chances through about 5 p.m. Now it all dies down by Sunday evening, but as we continue into the weekend, we are going to be dodging some showers and thunderstorms almost every day. So here we are, 6 a.m. on Saturday. Partly cloudy skies. You can see out there further to the west, a little cloudier. Temperatures in the low 60s across the region. Now clouds do continue to move in, and then here through starting early afternoon, already seeing some of these isolated showers popping up. Now those are due to surface heating. Now once we get into the later afternoon hours, we have some scattered thunderstorms out near the Wichita area. They're not going to make it quite into our region. We're only seeing maybe a shower or two remaining from that system. But then we head into Sunday and we see more of a widespread chance for rain. Now this starts as early as 6 a.m. in southeastern Kansas, Parsons, Chanute, all the way up to Yates Center, Fredonia, and Independence area. Scattered showers to isolated thunderstorms embedded in this system. It is a front that pushes through, so we are getting these southerly winds ahead of that line of storms, and then the northerly winds that are going to be pushing in behind that line, which cools us down as we head into Monday as well. Now this is about noon, so midday, seeing a lot of rain showers and then just a few isolated thunderstorms embedded in that. Temperatures only getting up to the upper 70s and low 80s. Really not going to warm up too much. But again, by 5 to 6 o'clock, it all starts to die down and we're left with just a remnants of a few showers. Now continuing into the rest of the weekend, Monday, those temperatures drop back down to the lower 80s, upper 70s. So beautiful temperatures for the Labor Day, but we are still dodging some more storms on Monday as well. We can't really get out of that, but we head into the rest of the week, and it's going to be mostly dry for us. Tuesday, you can see upper 70s. A couple of isolated storm chances on Wednesday as another front pushes in, dropping down to the low 80s on Thursday, and then we're warming right back up to the weekend. But again, mostly dry. We just have to make it through a couple more days.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it does fall on the holiday weekend.
Yeah, but here's the thing. We've gone through some brutal hot weather, you know, not as hot as it was last year. And I mean, I'm liking what I'm seeing.
All right.
I have no qualms
You heard it
whatsoever.
here first, folks.
All right. Thanks, Lindsay. Coming up, President Trump's new tariffs took effect last night. See how it is already affecting the prices of online shopping. Topping today's Consumer Watch, breaking news overnight which could impact millions of Americans. A Trump administration order came into effect at midnight that eliminates a rule that allowed cheaper online shipments to enter the U.S. tax-free. CBS News Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady explains.
The loophole known as the de minimis exemption has allowed goods worth less than $800 to enter the U.S. duty-free since 2016. President Trump signed an executive order last month to abolish the practice. These smaller shipments will be subject to country-specific tariffs. So let's take an example. If a package worth $200 comes from a country with a tariff rate of 25% or more, say Brazil, India, or Switzerland, the business or individual bringing that product into the U.S. would see at least $50 in extra costs. Now, gifts and personal items under $100 will still be exempt. According to U.S. Customs and Border Protection, more than 1.36 billion packages entered the U.S. through the exemption now eliminated in 2024. Now, the White House closed the loophole for packages from China in May, impacting online retailers like Shein and Temu. With the exemption now going away for all countries, that shuts down the option to reroute those smaller Chinese shipments. Now, the uncertainty is also causing confusion globally. National post offices across Europe and Asia announced they'll suspend these smaller shipments to the U.S. as they work to change their systems to comply with new requirements. By the way, we are learning this morning some U.S. customers reportedly are seeing cancellations because of that. The White House said ending the de minimis exemption would help combat, quote, escalating deceptive shipping practices, claiming some shippers abused it to send drugs such as fentanyl into the U.S. I'm Kelly O'Grady, CBS News, New York.
Wildlife crews in Florida are using a sneaky trick to catch pythons. They're placing robotic marsh bunnies in certain areas to lure out the invasive snakes. The toy robots have a heat signature, bunny smell diffuser, and natural movement to mimic the real deal. Video cameras monitor the bunnies and send out signal when a Burmese python is nearby. Officials say the pythons are creating an emergency situation for wildlife, even killing off birds. Final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, we'll go on the road to Illinois where people are traveling hours to spend just a few moments with a boy who is helping his community. What's the fuss? That's tonight on CBS Evening News. Then on KOAM News at 6, the Yates Center marks its centennial milestone. Plus, Joplin High School science program gets a boost thanks to Missouri American Water. And in sports, a preview to Missouri Southern State's home opener against Midwestern State University tomorrow night. Well, Americans have a chance to win almost $1 billion tomorrow after the Powerball didn't get a winner. But no one correctly matched those 6 numbers on Wednesday night. Now it's the 6th largest amount in Powerball history. So hopefully, if you buy a Powerball ticket, you can win yourself $1 billion.
So that's Saturday night's drawing.
Saturday night's drawing.
Good to know.
So let's
keep
do
that
it.
in mind. Yeah,
for sure.
Why not? If you're feeling lucky, it's going to be a great weekend. We do have mostly clear weather.
Yeah.
Sunday, we're going to be dodging some more showers there midday. Saturday's looking fantastic, though. And then Monday, we're also dodging some showers, but not as many as Sunday. So if you plan on going out for the weekend, I mean, you might get a chance. It might clear up for you.
And that word that I will not try to pronounce again meant their 250th anniversary for Yates Center. So we'll be right back here at 6. Have a good night.